is up, everyone? Welcome back to another deadline stream. Sorry, let me rearrange my camera. The Christmas jumper is on for the first time. We're into December. I think it's socially acceptable for me to... Where's my screen gone? You can't see my team. No? Good start. We're here. We're here. We're back. We're back. We're back. We're back. Hello, everyone. It is game week 15 deadline stream time. We'll be live for 2 hours up until the game week 15 deadline. We'll be answering all of your questions. We'll be going through my team. But yeah, say hello in the chat. We'll do the usual rounds of hellos. We'll do the usual stuff. Then we'll do a quick fire round of questions at the beginning of the stream. It is going to be chaotic week for content, as I'm sure you've already seen. So much to do with a Tuesday deadline and then a Saturday deadline again. But it's what we love. It's why we play the game, right? We can't get enough of the football. Isn't that right? Good afternoon to Majed. Good morning to Daddy DeVito, Roger, Sergio, Tomba, Cavit, Jonas, Ivan, Connor, Becco, Jackson, Dry, Matt, Figo Strike, Abbas, Jawad, Valentina, Kaja, Sucky, FPL Dreamers, Jen, FPL Focus, Lucas, Dan, JM, Austin, BC Do, Bertie, Becco, Baz Villa, Mo, Brandon, BL. Hello to all the members and moderators in this afternoon as well. Thank you all very much for your support and for joining. Hani, Anish, Hamid, Raymond, Hossam, Sydney, Ankit, Bronze Mouse, Adil, Kazindula, and yeah. Thank you all very much for joining. Harry, why are you wearing a Christmas sweater? Why not? Why not? It's December. I can wear it. There's nothing wrong with it. My phone is running out of battery as the stream starts. Always good. Let me get my charger from under the desk. How to check effective ownership before the deadline. You can't check effective ownership before the deadline. You can't. You can check last week's effective ownership and you can have a guess, but you can't check effective ownership before the deadline. I think that's the first time I've ever been asked that, but hello. Welcome. I've got my usual cup of tea. I've got my usual glass of water, which I've already half drunk, which is good. So I'll be needing a wee again halfway through the stream. But yeah, we have an hour and 50 minutes until game week 15 does begin. Spread across 2 days. We have 2 games tonight. The only real one of notice is Arsenal-Luton, for those of you with Arsenal assets in your team. But yes, the John Lewis-esque stoneware mug. I think we got given them. It holds a good amount. It's good for streams, although it's a lot of liquid. But yes. Anyway, Dubravka is in. Do I expect a clean sheet against Everton? Actually, not really. Then I'm not going to play him next week. But there is reasoning behind it. The more Newcastle fans I talk to, the more that they don't think they're going to sign a new keeper. They think they're just going to go into the rest of the season with Dubravka as long as he does a decent enough job between now and Christmas. So if that's the case, I just know that I wanted Dubravka at 3.9 million. And if it goes horribly wrong and I have to make a goalkeeper transfer, that's one transfer. For me, it wasn't worth the risk not getting on him when they could do so well over. He could be the go-to goalkeeper, and I don't want to be buying him at 4.2 million, which is what he could be. And when you look at the rotation between West Ham and Newcastle, I also considered selling Areola, it does help me if I'd sold Areola with money for future moves. But like the rotation until, like, even if we put in, let's say they don't sign a keeper, right? And he's out until, like, let's say game week 30, which is about when you wildcard. The rotation looks so nice. There's basically not a game week where you don't have a decent enough fixture on paper for your goalkeeper. So yeah, it was just too good to turn down, and it's one transfer. It freed up 0.1 million. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with the decision that I made to go and make that. So this is the rotation until game week 30 for Dubravka, Areola, which is why I kept Areola over a Turner, because there are a few game weeks, like game week 20 to 22, for example, where having Areola is worth it. And I also feel like having if things go wrong, right? If something happened to Dubravka, like they did sign another goalkeeper, then I do have a backup plan. Like, it is Areola and he's not great, but at least I have that. And, you know, if they were to sign another goalkeeper, they would sign them in January. And January is when we'll want to sell Salah and Son and Mbermo as well, which is when the African Cup of Nations happens. And I don't want to be using another transfer on a goalkeeper then, which is why I sold Turner instead of Areola. Amir, thank you very much for joining as a mid-tier member. Welcome. You'll get all the members-only content, which is going to be ramping up from next week. There's going to be even more than there is now. So send me a message over on Instagram or Twitter, and I'll get you added into all the WhatsApp groups and give you the link to the playlist as well. Couple of super chats that I missed. Macaldo, thank you. Start Gahey or Livramento. I probably would go Gahey just because I'm more sure that he's going to start. Start Porro against West Ham or back Lascelles. I'd probably play Porro. You have Salib and Shah starting, but who do I bench out of Tsimikas and Gabriel? I posted about this on Twitter. If you've got Tsimikas, if you've got Darwin, for me, you have to start them this week. Just, it's not worth the risk that they don't play. That's it. But your bench is really, really strong. Like Gabriel away at Luton, Arsenal away are very strong. So, Amir, I'd probably bench Tsimikas despite what I said earlier. Just before we keep diving into these questions, if you haven't liked the stream already, and if you are new around here, please do subscribe. We are very close to 89,000 subscribers, which we will hope to hit before the next deadline. Ben, how are we doing? I love the content. No worries. Thank you very much. How come you didn't make the Porro move? Also, is Salah really the best captain pick for this game week over the others? So I'll do my transfer plans in just a moment. And yes, I do think I'm just backing against Sheffield United. Like, it's just that over and over again. It's just that over and over again, basically. 100k, one day. That's the dream. Can I have Odegaard over Saka? Odegaard looked so good the other day. Yeah, was really impressed with him. If you don't have the money, I think Saka's 9 million now. If you don't have the money for Saka, I don't hate going Odegaard instead, 8.9. But is he going close to another rise? Or did he just rise again? Yeah, he just rose again. Okay. If that 0.6 gets you the transfers you want elsewhere, then I don't hate Odegaard over Saka. I would still prefer Saka, but I do like Odegaard if it facilitates another move. James or Colwell. So I posted about James. I posted about Chelsea on Twitter today, or X, Twitter, basically saying I wouldn't buy a Chelsea defender until game week, until after they play Everton this weekend. I don't think it's worth rushing into it because I want to see the lineup both tonight but also at the weekend to know which player I think is most likely to be nailed, because it's very possible Colwell plays tomorrow night against Manchester United for defensive solidity, but then misses out against Everton where he wants more like passing, attacking ability, which is what Cucurella will bring. But even if that's the case, it's possible Colwell plays at centre-back at the weekend as well. So I would probably wait a week to the weekend if you can on Chelsea. if I had to take a risk, Cole and James are still top 2. I think James will get the most minutes, but Cole is the cheapest, right? Lovely Christmas jumper. Thank you very much. Son is captain. Like, for me, it is Salah captain. For me, it just is Salah captain, and I'm not going to sway away from that at all. At all. Porro or Romero, I mean, definitely Porro. I'm actually hoping Udogie might drop in price. How he's still 4.8, I have no idea. He's not dropped once. It's actually crazy. He's dropped. He went to 4.9. And then, so he got sent off, missed a game, and then had Villa and City and has dropped once in price. Which is just crazy. Getting rid of Diaby, do I go Gordon or Palmer? I mean, it kind of depends what you're going to do elsewhere in your team. But if I could only own one, I mean, I probably would still own Palmer given the Chelsea fixtures. But I'm actually planning on owning both. So to talk you through my current transfer plans, of course, I know these change every 2 days. But here's where we are at the moment. So I did Dubravka. And I got him, he's at 4 mil here. So let me just put in Carriers just because it's Newcastle, but he's 3.9 because that's what I bought him at. -4 Bowen to Son or someone else or sell Maguire. I mean, I would want Son. If you can do Bowen to Son, I would. Play Colwill or Taylor? Colwill. How crucial is the goalkeeper slot? Would it be bad if, for some reason, I didn't have any playing keepers for 2-3 weeks? I mean, if you got to that point where you thought you weren't going to have a goalkeeper for 2 or 3 weeks, it's worth a -4 because if that goalkeeper blanks in 2 weeks and gets 2 points both, that pays back your 2 points. So you should never go without a goalkeeper for 2 or 3 weeks. For 1 week, maybe, but for 2 or 3 weeks, no. Now going into game week 16, I'm 0.1 of doing Livramento and Mbeumo to Trippier and Gordon. Now, Gordon is probably going to rise in price, but I do fancy these 2 moves. But Gordon is rising. Now, Mbeumo is also going to potentially rise tonight, so a double rise would get me close, but I am considering that. I wouldn't sell Mbeumo next week because they have Sheffield United and Gordon has Spurs, but I might sell him to buy him for Fulham. I think Gordon will be fine. He was pictured in training today. Any news on Doku? No, nothing on Doku. So that would get me... So I'd need to do another transfer to free up the money. There are a couple of ways I could do it. Cash to Udogie. Cash to Udogie. The only other thing that could happen is if Trippier gets a yellow card and he gets suspended. And he gets suspended, then Trippier could drop and that would free me up 0.1. But I'm looking at those 2 moves and it's just keeping an eye on price changes as to know what other move I need to make in order to free up the money. I'm also not sold on Tsimikas anymore. The fixtures coming up after this is rubbish. If he doesn't start tomorrow night, then I'll keep Tsimikas for Palace because then that's fine. But then I can sell him. United, Arsenal, Burnley, Newcastle, like Bournemouth away, Chelsea at home, Arsenal away. Like by the time we get to these nice fixtures from 24, Robbo will be back. So I'm not like if he starts tonight, I might even sell him going into 16. Tomorrow night. I probably won't, but he's on the chopping block at some point over the next couple of weeks for me. People are buying him. I need him to rise, though. He's going to rise tonight. I could do with it because I think his selling price goes up 0.1 if he rises again. Yeah, his selling price, so I could do with that. Okay, sorry. Bench order. Taylor, Maguire, Archer. Taylor first, Archer second, Maguire third, probably. How many game weeks do I think Wissels will get? I think they'll be cautious with Botman. So I think you get at least 2, probably more. Probably more. Do I prioritise Diaby to Gordon, Palmer, or Lamptey to Cole Livermento for a 5th defender. If that's your 5th defender, then you don't need to prioritise that. But I don't know who else is in your defence, but probably the midfield move. Although Diaby's fine this week. I don't mind him. Just looking at Chelsea predicted lineups. Yeah, they're the same as mine. Play João Pedro or Palmer. Probably. I was going to say probably Palmer, but probably João Pedro, given he didn't start. Why don't I like Son captain? I don't dislike Son captain. He is in my top 5 captaincy options. But I'm not turning down Salah against Sheffield United. It's just not happening. It's just going on Salah, and there's no chance it changes during my stream. Unless we get news that he's not going to start, but the game's tomorrow, so we won't get that. So, yeah, you can't not captain him against Sheffield United. That's my opinion anyway. I've also, if you guys hadn't noticed, the eagle-eyed amongst you might have noticed, I've updated the stuff in the top right. Yeah, the captaincy, etc. When it comes up in 30 seconds or so, I used to have just top players to buy, total number 5 of them, but I've changed it, and you now have top 5 forwards, top 5 midfielders, and top 5 defenders, because normally my top buys wouldn't include the likes of Haaland, Salah, etc., which is just not right. They should be in your top buys in case you don't own them, but I couldn't just put that in there because then my top buys would always be the same. So now we have top 5 by position. We don't have goalkeepers, but we've got top 5 forwards. So you've got Haaland, Dom Solanke. If I was buying this week, I'd probably buy him over Watkins. Darwin, Jesus are my top 5 forwards to buy. Midfielders, Salah, Saka, Son, Gordon, then Palmer. But you've got to bear in mind what the money does for you in some of those situations. And then top 5 defenders. Of course, Trippier, then Porro, then Zinchenko. Then I quite like Dawson and Anthony Robinson if you need cheap options. You like my jumper? I'm getting festive. You're the very best. Thank you. Love my content. Hope you achieve a lot more. I appreciate it. Bring Zinchenko for cash. I do like Zinchenko. There is a minute's risk a little bit around him, but he has been so good recently in terms of going forward. He did, of course, was at fault for the goal they conceded. But one of my thoughts on Martinelli, is it possible Havertz starts instead? It's possible Havertz starts, but it could be over Trossard or Martinelli. It's a hard one to call. They do have a Villa game at the weekend, which in theory is harder. Martinelli's a difficult one, because if he starts, you want him against Luton. I don't think we get team news for it. They do play tonight, but it's 2.5 hours after the deadline or something like that, 45 minutes. Yeah, 2 hours 15 after the deadline. So I'd be surprised if we got anything there. So if you had Martinelli, I'd probably chance that he starts. Is blank game week affecting my future not transfer plans? I'm not massively worried about it because I only own Haaland and Mbeumo, and I plan on selling Mbeumo before it if he doesn't get a double game week. The timer's not working. I fixed it so many times today. Thank you for pointing it out. Hang on, give me a sec. Update. There we go. 1 hour 33 to the deadline. I appreciate it. Favorite pizza topping? Pepperoni. I'm boring, but so, sorry, I just got a comment from someone on Instagram. You keep changing your mind on Simicast, telling everyone not to go for him and then starting him. I wouldn't buy Tsimikas if you don't own him. But if you own him, you kind of have to start him. Tuna and pineapple. Oh dear. Jen, your moderator powers are on the line there. Play Palmer or Gordon. Gordon. If I had to pick one. Is it okay to sell Arsenal defenders? I think selling an Arsenal defender is overthinking. They do have the best defensive numbers in the league at the moment. So I wouldn't go selling your Arsenal defenders, if I'm honest. Feels like crazy over management a little bit. So no. Alex, thank you for the first super chat. For -4, should I do Nketiah to Solanke or Cash to Porro, or don't take a hit? I don't know who you're starting. If you're starting Cash, then I would do that. There is a chance. There was another question about Nketiah earlier. Do we expect Nketiah to start? I mean, it's possible he does start because Jesus has just come back from injury, but he did only play 65 minutes at the weekend. I would probably do the Solanke move because I think that benefits you most long term, especially if you don't have to start Cash this week. Bruno to Son or roll the transfer. If you can do Bruno Fernandes to Son, I would definitely do it. Now, I'm speaking as a Chelsea fan, but Son is definitely a better asset than Bruno is. Buy Isaac or Hwang. I wouldn't be buying Isaac. Wilson could be back by game week 17. He's unlikely to play midweek or the weekend. But, yeah. My Greg's order. Whoa. Probably like their chicken... like what's it called? Chicken parcel thing. Or like a slice of pizza. Or a classic sausage roll. Will I ever own Trippier? I mean, I'm planning on getting him soon. But if Mbeumo's double gets announced, then maybe not. Like, if he doesn't... If Mbeumo gets his double, I just don't have any route to go and buy him. Gordon was in training today. Apparently there's a video on Sky Sports News earlier that he was in training. So, yeah. When is Neto back? Not yet. Who am I planning on getting Trippier in for? It will probably be like Tsimikas or Livramento. I mean, I could do Tsimikas up to him, right? After this week. Tsimikas to Trippier. And Mbeumo to... Oh, I can't. I can't do in Gordon. That's why I've got to sell Livramento. It's the only downside with buying Dubravka. Is that it does make it a little bit more difficult for me to get to Trippier. But Trippier and Gordon. But that's fine. I don't mind doing all three of those. Bench one of Mbeumo, Martinelli, Watkins, or Alvarez. Probably Alvarez. Turner for Dubravka from -4 or just use Areola. I mean, I probably would do it for a hit. I just think that the chance of him working out to the level that he could work out Dubravka is worth a transfer. Bench one of those. Mbeumo, Martinelli, Watkins, or Alvarez. We've done. Start Cash or Maguire. I mean, I'd probably play Cash, but I don't love either of that at all. I'd probably sell Cash to Porro for a hit rather than starting both of them, but... Sanchez, Lascelles, Odegaard, or Dubravka, Trippier, Gordon? Sanchez, Lascelles, Odegaard, or Dubravka, Trippier, Gordon. I mean, that's triple Newcastle versus the other one only having Lascelles, but yeah, the bottom option. Is it okay to play Taylor this week, or should I take a -4 to bring Porro in? I don't hate Taylor. He is away at Wolves, and I don't really expect a clean sheet or that much from him, but it's not the end of the world. Sorry, let me put my team back up on screen. If the Porro transfer is a transfer you'll make anyway, I'd do it for a hit. Hello from Ethiopia. Hello. I missed your super chat. Sorry, I'm on it. If I missed your super chats, please do shout at me. Lot. Adingra to Hwang Hee-chan, what do I think? I mean, if you already own Palmer, fine. But I would rather Palmer with the fixtures coming up. Bench one of Virgil, Mitchell, Colwell, Kudus, or Palmer. I mean, Colwell, definitely. Colwell, yeah. Odegaard or Gordon? I mean, Gordon allows so much more, right? But, yeah. I mean, I reckon Odegaard outscores Gordon, but not worth the value difference, probably. Buy Udogi instead of Porro. So, if you're buying a Spurs defender now, I wouldn't buy Udogi because Udogi's on 4 yellows. He's also being transferred out. So, he's only going to drop in price. So, I wouldn't want to buy Udogi now. I've got my eye on him as a Tsimikas replacement, but I want him to get booked. A blank tomorrow and him getting booked would be so perfect. He'll be 4-7 by the time I want to buy him. As a former Odegaard, don't do it yourself. He's looked so much better in the past couple of games, though. Saliba or Zinchenko. You hold Saliba, who had a low attacking threat. I wouldn't sell Saliba, no. Solanke or Gordon. I'd probably play Solanke. I wouldn't want to bench Solanke in pretty much any game. That's part of the reason I didn't buy him. Because he gives me such a benching headache. Any confirmed transfers? Yeah, so I bought Dubravka for Turner. Just because I was like, what's the worst that could happen? What's the worst that could happen? Hang on. Lo Celso or Palmer? Palmer for sure if you have to start them every week. But if they're a bench player, then Lo Celso and save the money. Sorry, I've got to do my predicted lineup thread live on stream because I was missing. We'll give it a little while before I get the last one. Who to start, Areola or Flecken? Not Areola. Yeah. Newcastle have 1 clean sheet away in their last 15. Yeah, their away clean sheet record is really not great, but I'm buying him because I want him long term. And I've gained, he's gone up 0.1 already. I didn't need another transfer this week. I think that the chance of it working out at some point is worth it. If they don't sign someone else, this rotation is really nice. You get Fulham at home, Luton at home. Fulham at home, Forest at home, Luton at home, Bournemouth at home, Wolves at home, West Ham at home. Plus the away fixtures, Luton away, Forest away, like Palace away, like Everton away. Yes, they don't have that many away clean sheets, but they are still statistically one of the best defences in the league, and he's 3.9. Cash to Trippier for a -4 or wait till next week. Oh, I'll probably do that. If you need to start, if you've got someone you need to start this week, then I'd do it. If you're starting Cash this week, I'd do it. God. How much money do I have in the bank? Oh, 1.6. I mean, so I can't even take a hit. I'd have to sell Cash. Nah. Best Chelsea defender to buy. So as I posted, if I'm buying Chelsea this week, I'd probably wait till... I want to wait till after Everton. I'm not sure we keep a clean sheet in the next 2 games anyway, so I would wait on Chelsea defensively. Matty Cash or Taylor? Probably Cash. Thank you all for joining. If you haven't liked already, there are 2,200 of you in here and only 1 in 8 of you have liked. So if you just want to help support the channel over a very busy Christmas period, would be greatly appreciated. If we could hit 500, that'd be fantastic. Don't leave it to someone else. Am I going to keep Cash? It's possible. It's possible that I end up keeping him, because I'm just losing value on him now. But by the time game week 18 comes around, he could be quite valuable. So my actual planned transfers, if we just go like a long way in advance, would be Trippier and Gordon in from Burmo and Livramento. And then I downgrade Tsimikas to whoever it is that I need to afford him. It's then a straight shootout between Cash and Udogi about who I think is a better asset. So, like, this would have to come down to someone who's a bit cheaper. But, like, that's fine. I could get Badiashile if he's going to start. I'm keeping my eye on him. But, like, Robinson of Fulham, I quite like. The Manchester United fixtures do get better by the time I want a defender. Like, by the time I want a defender of in, like, game week 20 or so, their fixtures do start to improve. So, I mean, Maguire would work. God, we're 5 likes away from 500. God, almost just spilled tea all the way down me live on stream. That would have been good. Sorry, 1 sec. 1 second. Trying to get a predicted lineup for Bournemouth. Bench Watkins or Palmer. Don't bench Watkins against that City team without Rodri. Lascelles, Gay, Taylor, start 1, bench order the other 2. I'd probably start Gahey, first bench Lascelles, second bench Taylor. You need a replacement for Cash and Mitoma. I don't know how much money you've got in the bank, but yeah, like Porro, Gordon, Palmer. If you do Mitoma down to Palmer, can you get Cash to Trippier? That's the only other thing. Gahey and Watkins to Porro and Solanke for a hit. Absolutely not. Watkins to Solanke was something I considered for a hit last week, and I'm very glad I didn't do it. So I would not advise you doing that this week. Despite the next 2 fixtures, they are both at home as well. We know that Aston Villa love to cook at home. Yeah, sorry, someone's just, fellas just sent me. There was apparently Trippier wasn't training with the group today, but the news reports do think that he'll be fine, so I wouldn't massively worry about it. Only got 0.2 in the bank, fine. Then, like, probably Porro and Palmer or Gordon. I mean, you could keep Mitoma this week. He should start, but... he should start. Play Robinson or Gahey. I play Robinson. He's been pretty good recently, and the attacking threat is definitely there over him. Plus the fixture is probably slightly better for them as well. Gahey against Bournemouth, the way they're playing at the moment, I wouldn't massively want to do that as well. Having Diaz and Sterling is a good differential option. Yes, they are. They're good differentials. I mean, if you're having 2 differentials in your midfield, I feel like you're missing out on some of those big players who I do really like. I'm presuming your midfield is not Salah, Son, Saka, Diaz, Sterling, which means you're not owning one of Salah, Son, Saka. Has my deadline timer broken again? I don't really understand what's happening. It's fixed for now. What to do with Bowen? I probably, I'd keep him unless you have someone you really want to sell him to. He's playing against a Spurs side who concede goals, and Bowen loves to score away from home. So, yeah, I'm not I wouldn't panic on Bowen. If you've kept Bowen now, I'd keep him. When will I use my second wild card? Not for a very long time. Yeah. 0.9 in the bank. Defenders are Tsimikas, Maguire, Cash, Taylor, and Lamptey. Take a -4. Tsimikas is fine. You can play Taylor. Just do Cash to Porro, probably. Cash to Porro. And Burmo to Son for a -4 this week or game week 17. I'm not sure I'd do it this week because then you're missing a Burma against Sheffield United next week. So I'm not sure I'd want to do that, although Son is a better asset, but I wouldn't take a hit for it. I wouldn't take a hit to not having Burma against Sheffield United at the weekend. I would want him for that fixture. Matty Cash or Taylor. If I had to play one, I'd still probably play Cash. What to do with Diaby? I'd probably keep Diaby unless you've got an obvious move this week. But given the fixture that both Gordon and Palmer have, I don't think selling Diaby works unless you go to a Burma or Saka. So, yeah, I don't think it's necessarily worth it this week. I'd probably just hold on to him. Please help me pick two. Saliba, Zinchenko and Tsimikas. I mean, maybe Tsimikas benched, but I don't love it. Pretty sure Saliba and Zinchenko will both start. So I would say Tsimikas in that case is probably the biggest risk for you, but he does have the best fixture. Get Palmer or Sterling. Sterling will score more points, but Palmer is just such a better asset for value than Sterling is. It allows you to do so much more with your team. There's no way you basically get Salah, Son, Saka, Haaland, Watkins, and even consider Trippier if you go Sterling over him. So, yeah, just definitely Palmer. He had a knock, that's why he didn't start. Don't worry about the minutes at the weekend. Don't worry about the minutes against Brighton. Did I update the number? Yeah, just posting that and then I'll be all with you for the rest of the stream. Any other transfers this week? I don't think anything's worth a hit. I think one of my defenders will get benched. I'm pretty sure one of my defenders will get benched. But I just don't know who it's going to be. So it's not worth trying to make a transfer that would now be a hit to try and replace a defender that I don't know is going to get benched. It's possible that all three of them do. But I think all three of them... I reckon all three of them have a 70%... No, maybe... All three of them have a 60% plus chance of starting this week. So, yeah, I just don't think it's worth the transfer this week. Adam, welcome. Bench one of Porro or Palmer. I wouldn't bench Porro. I'd rather bench Palmer. Any news on 8 Nori? I don't think he's expected back this week. Yeah, not expected back. Is the Wi-Fi fine? Honestly, for anyone who saw, I had the BT man round today. Hang on. Harry, it's fine. I'm here. Sorry, trying to multitask. Should I keep Douglas Luiz or change it for Palmer? You already got Sterling. I would probably make that transfer. I'd probably make the transfer. Yeah. The BT, yeah. So I had the BT man round today, and he told me that everything was fine, despite my Wi-Fi having crashed 3 times over the weekend, including on my member stream yesterday. And they come round and look at everything and tell me it's fine, and I'm like, well, it's obviously not fine. Yeah, but it is what it is anyway. We got there in the end with them. They're going to send me a new router because I think that might be the problem. But anyway, Derby or Alvarez to bench? Probably Derby. Plus Bruno to Saka, Odegaard or Roll. Bruno to Saka, definitely. Love that from BT. Don't we all? The fact that I had to fix it by using my E3G and they're owned by BT was slightly ironic, but cool. Let's do some quick questions because I realise I've been a bit AWOL for the start of this stream. Sell Watkins, definitely not. Lascelles or Palmer? Palmer. Gordon in for Matoma or Diaby? Probably Matoma. I know, probably Diaby. No, Matoma. Just think, like, Diaby will play both the next 2. He is a better goal threat at the moment than Matoma is. Starting Ketia. If you've got him, yeah, you might, but I'm not certain he starts today. Form over fixtures. I mean, a combination of both is always ideal. And fixtures can often bring form, so... bench 1, Watkins, Palmer, or Udogie. Probably Udogie. I think there's always goals in that Spurs-West Ham game. Is Trippier worth getting if it means having a 4.0 defenders on your bench? Yes, I don't know who they are, but if it's like Brantwaite, I think it's fine. Everton are not bad. Andre, thank you for joining as a mid-tier member. Drop me a message on Instagram or Twitter, and I'll get you added to all the groups you need to be in. Thank you very much, allowing me to do this full time. Play Tsimikas or Sterling? Probably Sterling. Will Darwin be benched? I don't know. I don't imagine he starts all 3 games this week. But does he play this or Palace? I don't know. At what point does Klopp get fed up with him being chaotic and not finishing chances? That's my question. Does Klopp just view him as a long-term project, or does it just annoy him short-term? Like, I don't understand. Because for me, when Pep took Doku off, now, I know he's got a knock, but for me, Pep got frustrated with Doku at the weekend, like I am. But I'm not sure Klopp views these things in the same way. So, yeah, it's interesting to see exactly how he reacts to this sort of stuff. You know, does Gakpo deserve Does Gakpo not deserve a chance when he's been clinical ever since he's come into Liverpool? But the timer. I'm having a nightmare today with the tech, if anyone... Let's see if it fixes itself. Son in for Martinelli for a hit. Yes, I would. It'll be a transfer you're happy you make long term. If you can't afford Trippier, who should I go? You've got Saliba and Gabriel, Porro. Which 3 games are you going to watch this week? I flick between them. So I'll watch Wolves, Burnley until half time. Then I'll flick and watch Luton, Arsenal. Then at halftime in that, I'll watch the final 15 minutes of Wolves-Burnley. Then I'll flick back and watch Luton-Arsenal. Then on Wednesday, I will watch probably Sheffield United-Liverpool until Chelsea kick off. Then I'll watch that game. Then the same on those. So I'll watch more than 3. I might even have 2 screens up. It's Christmas football is all about watching more than one game at once. Gordon, Mitoma, midfield of Salah, Saka, Palmer, and Gordon, Burmo, 3.2 in the bank and 1-3. I feel like I need Son, so Burmo to Son or Saka to Son. A Burmo to Son is a better. I wouldn't sell Saka. The membership prices are monthly. The top one is just if you want to support the channel. It doesn't really have any extra perks over the one below it. But some people have asked that they just want to support the channel a bit more. Archer could haul this week against a leaky Liverpool. Start him. I mean, over who? There's absolutely no hope. He's first on my bench. This guy lives first on my bench. How will I get Trippier into your team later on? I mean, I have to sell Burmo to do it. And Burmo to Gordon frees up almost just enough money for me to do it now. So, yeah. Why Porro? I mean, he's very attacking. He's on a lot of set pieces with Maddison out. And their fixtures coming up are not bad. If you look at their fixtures over Christmas, West Ham at home, Newcastle at home, Forest away, Everton at home, Brighton away, Bournemouth at home. Like, it's a pretty nice run of all the teams over Christmas that we look to invest in, particularly short term. Arsenal come good again in game week 19, but right now you're not, like, with these as their next 4, you're probably not buying another Arsenal defender now. So that's why a lot of people are looking at Porro, and he's quite cheap. I probably won't end up on Porro. I probably won't end up on him now because I feel like Trippier is a bigger priority, and I just can't get to both of them. It's virtually impossible. How about Visa next week, Sheffield United? Yeah, but if you haven't bought, because then you're buying these guys for Sheffield United away, Villa at home, blank. Like, I don't want that. And Visa has not been consistent enough in front of goal. He started the season well, but recently he's not been fantastic. Whom would I start out of Solanke and Nunes? I'd start Darwin. I'd take the chance that he starts that game. Because you'll kick yourself. If it's the other way around and Solanke scores, fine. If you bench Darwin and he starts against Sheffield United, I feel like you'll kick yourself more. You're surprised to hear that I'm already considering selling Burmo. Yeah, I'm surprised as well. But the double game week hasn't been announced that we thought in game week 20. I'll also have to sell him in game week 21 because he goes to the African Cup of Nations. He blanks here and I want Trippier. He's about the only player that I'm willing to sell to get Trippier. Unless I sell Saka, Salah, Son, Watkins or Haaland. He's the only player I can sell if I want to get Trippier in. I mean, if I'd have done Areola, I could have done it. But I wanted to keep Areola. But that's the plan. If there's no double, Burmo to Gordon will basically get me enough money to do Livramento to Trippier. And then I just make one other transfer, like just cash out. Like, fine, or Simicast out. And those are my next 3 transfers, and I get Trippier. Finally. But I could do with him getting a yellow card. Can he just hurry up and get dropped or get booked? One of the two. You regret for going Burma over Gordon? Yeah, me too now. I mean, hindsight's great, right? Because Gordon scored how many points? But yeah, it is what it is. What time is it? We are an hour to go to, just over an hour to go to the deadline. If you haven't liked already, that would be, yeah, fantastic. We will turn subscriber only mode on in a minute, but for Newcastle, bro, which is why I have to sell Livramento. That was part of the reason I almost didn't buy Dubravka, but he just looked like too much of a gift to me. Start Cash or Taylor. I'd probably go Cash. Probably go Cash. Oh. I do. It's open on my laptop. That's why my timer keeps resetting. Because I've got it open on my laptop with the old deadline in. Boom. Do I bench Tsimikas, Gabriel, or Lascelles? Probably Lascelles. Turner to Dubravka, transfer done. Yes, transfer confirmed. 1 hour to the deadline. Don't forget the aesthetic colour code your teams. What, like mine? Nice and haphazard. We need you on the outside. We need you in the middle. We need you on the outside. I mean, it doesn't... Yeah, you in there. You. You. Captain still in the right place. Vice captain. Yeah. Cool. Is that better? Start Palmer or Alvarez? Probably Palmer or Alvarez. Probably Alvarez. I expect more goals in that game. Starting Dubravka. Who would I start? Shah, Lascelles, Gabriel. I mean, I wouldn't want to play Maguire or Taylor, so I would still play Gabriel, Lascelles, Shah. It does mean you have triple Newcastle, but statistically, that's the right thing to do. Yeah, everyone's betting that Areola's going to keep a clean sheet this week. Cash to Porro. Sorry, Mosin, I missed that. Cash to Porro or Cash to Zinchenko or Turner to Dubravka. If you're having to start Cash this week, then go and buy Porro. If you're not, then Dubravka. Nunez not in the starting 11. We don't know. We won't know until tomorrow. The game isn't until tomorrow. There are predicted lineups. Predicted lineups are predictions only, obviously. Some of them include Darwin. Some of them don't. Some of them do. Some of them don't. Where's Chelsea? I'm all over the place today. I'm all over the shop. What do I think of Wolves? Wang Yi-Chan, Wolves fixture's coming good. Yeah, and he's on penalties. I just don't know if I prefer him to Palmer or Gordon. I don't know if he looks okay, like if he's better than Palmer or Gordon. So, I like he's a differential, right? What do you get if you like the page? If you just like the stream, a nice, warm, fuzzy green arrow this week. A nice green arrow this week. So, Gordon will play. I expect him to. Start Tsimikas or Gahey. Tsimikas. Start, yeah. A couple of those questions right at the same time. Start Gahey or Tsimikas, yeah. Edouard or Palmer? I still think Palmer's a great asset. Palace have Bournemouth at home, though, so probably Edouard is the sensible pick. He might also be on penalties without Eze as well, so, yeah. Me or Pinnock, better transfer for Brentford. So be cautious of buying Brentford defenders, despite the fixtures. I mean, they have Brighton this week, which isn't great. Then they blank in 18. I don't think I'll be buying a Brentford defender. If I had to pick one, I'd probably go me if you've got the money, but I'm not sure I'd be buying one this week. I'm not sure I'll be buying one this week. Start Lascelles or Anderson. Probably Anderson. I'd take the home fixture if I can. And he's got good goal threat. And he also took a set piece. He took a direct free kick the other day, Anderson. So, yeah. Any goalkeepers to target this week? I mean, Dubravka is the one that everyone is going on for this week. So, I would have to say Dubravka. Matip is injured, so wouldn't Tsimikas start? Kanate could easily play centre-back. So it could be Kanate, Trent, Van Dijk, Gomez. It could easily be that. I agree, it boosts it a little bit, right? You've got one less player to rotate with, but yeah. Bench, Tsimikas, Cher, or Adingra. Probably not Adingra. Probably Cher or Tsimikas. So it's probably Cher or Tsimikas. Probably Cher, because I do think Everton score in that game. It's GW15 Son for a -4. Yes. Actually, I don't know why I hesitated on that. It's a very straightforward -4. Get Trippier in for Livramento for a -4 or Gordon in for Diaby. I'm not sure I'd do Trippier in this week for a hit, just based off Gordon in for Diaby. Again, I'm not sure both of those are worth a hit, so I'm not sure I'd do either. No, Livramento is still worth a buy. No Trippier. I'd want to know if he starts. If he starts this week, then he's a buy, because then that's 3 games on the bounce that he's favoured him over Lewis Hall. But I'm not certain he starts this game and then again at the weekend. And I'm pretty sure he'll play at the weekend against Spurs. So if he starts this game, he's a definite buy, because then Howe trusts him to play the amount of minutes that he's going to have to play. But I'm not sure he's going to start this one. Tsimikas or Livramento, I'd probably play Tsimikas out of the two. If you haven't already, please drop a like on the stream. It would be much appreciated. Yeah, we're going to turn it on to... The stream is going quick, and I'm doing my best to answer all of your questions as possible. So we're going to put it on subscriber-only mode, and if you literally have to subscribe for 1 second to be able to put any messages in the chat. Would I start Adingra or Palmer? If I had to pick between Adingra or Palmer, probably Palmer, because there is a chance Adingra doesn't play. Based off the amount of minutes that Adingra has played recently, I would have to favour Palmer out of those two. Would I sell Areola? No, I'm quite comfortable having Areola and Turner and Dubravka. Johnston or Dubravka? Probably Johnston this week. How are we doing, Jordan? MC Hammer, thank you. I changed. I've removed top buys. They shouldn't be there. Yeah. Start Archer or Taylor. I mean, I'd probably play Archer. Just as people have said, there are... Liverpool are not assured defensively at the moment. So, Gordon or Palmer, it's so close. But I am going to say Gordon, because I do expect more goals in that game than I do in Man United Chelsea. Dubravka with Turner for a -4. I mean, it does... if it works out, you'll be glad you did it. I just think the reward is higher than the risk on that It won't pay off this week. It won't pay off at the weekend, but it might pay off between now and Christmas. So it depends how quickly you want a return on it. If you're worried about short-term points, then definitely don't do it. Because I'm not certain they keep a clean sheet this week. It's just the long-term stuff that, yeah, I am more worried about. Well, more hopeful of when I look at this. Will Luis Diaz start? Probably. With Jota out, I can't see him missing many games. So Luis Diaz is an interesting differential. He's just not been great FPL asset for a while now. Udogie or Diaby to start this week. Definitely the attacker. Udogie's not looked quite at the races. Although I'm considering buying him, I wouldn't pay 4.8 for him. I'd pay 4.7, maybe 4.6 for him. He's not looked quite at it. Shiv, how are we doing? So Alvarez or Douglas Luiz? Alvarez, definitely. Tomiyasu, Cash, Tomiyasu, Lascelles, Salison. Souček instead of Nketiah in the 11. I'd probably play Nketiah because he might come off the bench. Tomiyasu should start Lascelles, Cash. I mean, I don't love Cash and Edison. I would honestly consider doing a hit to remove one of them, but Edison's fine. Like, yeah, he's not a good goalkeeper for me. They can see too many stupid goals. Is Son worth a hit for Mbermo? Probably not, especially given the fixture next week. Right, we're going to do a poll, and I want to know, have you bought Dubravka this week? And then we'll do a captaincy one as well. Let's see how many Dubravka owners. He was transferred in. He broke like 10,000 transfers in a single hour last night before the price rise, which is a lot. God, 2,500 of you in and 800 likes. To be fair, that ratio is pretty good, but still means there's 1,600 of you who haven't. So wow, more than 50% of you have bought Dubravka this week. That is a hell of a lot for a goalkeeper. It's probably the most goalkeeper transfer there's ever been in a single game week of FPL, I imagine. Start Lascelles or Mitchell? I'd probably play Mitchell. How do you find your safety score each week? So I use a site called livefpl.net. But your safety score sort of updates as the week goes on. But if you log into livefpl.net and you put your team ID in, you will get a screen that looks like this. And then it has my safety score here. So I scored 7 points above my safety score this week, which is pretty good. Pretty good. So your safety score is effectively what you need to get a grey arrow. Trent, a potential captain. Very potentially. I almost put him on my captaincy ranking. Or maybe I did. But I was like, oh, people won't own him. So there's no point me putting like a player that no one owns on the captaincy ranking. Oh, I did. I put him 5th. Fine. I changed my mind. I was unsure of what to do. Because I think he is a top 5 captaincy pick this week. Mikalenko or Lascelles? Probably Mikalenko. I mean, I don't think there'll be a clean sheet necessarily for either team. I know I've got double up on defence, but if you've got no Newcastle defence, if Lascelles is your only Newcastle defender, then I would play it because the risk with the amount of Newcastle defenders that are being played this week is so high. I wouldn't want to do it. So I would play that. If you've got Dubravka, then yeah, fine. Go and take a punt on Mikalenko. He's probably got more attacking threat, but any updates on team lineups? No, nothing yet. Is it too early to bring in Isaac? I wouldn't buy Isaac. We should see Callum Wilson back by game week 17, which is too soon to be going and buying a striker who's just going to rotate. To buy a striker who's just going to go and rotate. Start Alvarez or Douglas Luiz. Alvarez, yeah. Palmer or Watkins, definitely Watkins. Tsimikas or Lascelles, Tsimikas. People considering benching Watkins, you've got to consider that City are without Rodri. City are without Grealish. I just think there's going to be goals in that game. And how good Villa are at home. Maybe I'll get it wrong, but I wouldn't be benching Watkins. Just don't see any option that's necessarily worth it that people are going to be sitting on their bench most weeks. Because everyone's got a bench fodder mainly. So I'm just surprised that people would want to do that. He's so good. I'm glad I kept him, of course, now. But it was so close on the last deadline stream. I watched it back and I literally could see it that I was so close to making that move. If it had been for free, I would have sold Watkins last week. That's the real headache. The concern is that I actually got out of jail because I had other issues to fix. I knew I wanted Saka, and the only way to get Saka was to sell Bowen and Diaby, which meant I'd already used my 2 free transfers, which meant selling Watkins was for a hit, and I didn't want to do that. If it had been for free, I probably would have done it to Solanke. Now, I wouldn't have gone Darwin. It was Solanke that I was going to go to, but if it had been for free, I probably would have done it. Or if we'd have had confirmed Bowen being fine news, I would have done it because I would have done Diaby to Saka and Watkins to Solanke and kept Bowen. So I just have to thank David Moyes for being completely useless in terms of his press conference. And Burmo to Gordon for a hit? Absolutely not. No chance. Any Manchester United players to buy? Definitely not as well. How do I feel about Bowen? He's a fine keep. He's done well away. He's done well away from home. And that Spurs West Ham game always has goals in. I feel like every time I watch that game, there are goals or something crazy happens. So I wouldn't worry if you've got Bowen. Cash replacements. My top defenders will be coming around in the top of the screen. So do check that out. It's Porro, Zinchenko. I like Dawson. Their fixtures coming up are pretty nice. Robinson. Maybe James should be in there, but maybe James should be in there, to be fair. Let me switcheroo that. Defenders. Cool. Should do it. Looks like Tsimikas isn't going to start. Like, there's no team news on Liverpool. To anyone in the chat telling me that you've got team news, like, we just don't know. And the game is tomorrow, so we're just not going to know 24 hours before the deadline who it is that's going to play. So, should I sell Diaby to Odegaard? It depends what it does to your other moves. I like Odegaard as an option, but I don't think I'll buy him or actually recommend many people to buy him because of what it probably locks your team out of. I do like Odegaard as a big differential though, so if it doesn't impact your future moves, then yes. Yeah, like, I don't think Tsimikas is necessarily going to start, but I don't think it's worth a -4. And if he does start against Sheffield United, then I'm happy with it, right? So I'm taking the risk that he's going to start one of the next two. And yeah, he's going to start one of the next two, and I'm going to keep him for them. If he starts tonight, I'll probably sell him for the game of the weekend. Tomorrow night even. This game week. Areolas to Dubravka and cash to Porro for a hit. Do you need the Dubravka money now to do that other transfer? I'm not sure it's worth a -4, but it depends if you're playing cash. Like, my cash would... Like, this is the reason I'm not taking a hit. This is why I'm not selling cash for a hit, because then who do I bench, right? I do cash to Porro this week. Who do I bench? You'll probably say Tsimikas, but I don't think it's worth a hit to bench Tsimikas. Just wanted to say thank you. You've helped me massively with your FPL management. Top. No worries. It's what we're here for. Salah better do well this week. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. He's going to be massively captain. Let's put that in the poll as well. I imagine most of you are on a Salah captaincy this week. Where is my mouse? Here. So 53% of you are buying Dubravka. Lamptey for Gabriel for -4. Or play Taylor. If it's your only Arsenal defender, then yes, I'd do it. If you've already got an Arsenal defender, I don't think you need to buy a second one right now. Start Diaby or Diaby, Palmer, Wang can roll the other. Well, if you've got 2 transfers, then definitely sell Diaby. I'd probably go Palmer, but Palmer or Gordon, it depends what allows the rest of your team to do. And I will say it so many times. Hang on. Who are you captaining? I'll say it so many times that Palmer versus Gordon is team dependent. Gordon, I'd rather have than Palmer, but there's a 0.7 value difference there that can go a long way. Palmer a bench risk or not, I don't see it at all. He was benched on the weekend because he had a knock, and Pochettino said he had a knock, we didn't want to take a risk, and Christmas is not the time to take risks, which is fair. Why not captain Haaland? Because I'm just captaining Salah against the weakest team in the league. I'm really surprised that there are so many people questioning a Salah captaincy this week. Is it because he didn't do well at the weekend? Son. Is it because he blanked at the weekend? Is that the reason people don't want to captain him? Maybe, but yeah, he's my captain this week. Let's see what the poll says. Let's see how many of you... That and Liverpool away, I guess. Yeah, to be fair, away fixture, but Haaland's away as well. I know Son's at home, but... I mean, to be fair, 90% of you are captaining Salah. So, he didn't blank. No, he got an assist. But didn't score. That's what I meant. Watkins to Solanke is a better transfer. I wouldn't sell Watkins. Lo Celso or Cole Palmer? Cole Palmer if you have to start them every week. Lo Celso if they're going to sit on your bench some weeks. João Pedro or Palmer? Probably João Pedro because I think he must start this game. Cash for Porro or Trippier. If you can get to Trippier, I'd go Trippier. Predictions, Man United, Chelsea. I honestly think it could be 0-0 or 1-0. I actually see it having low scoring games. 86% of you on Salah, 7% on Haaland, 5% on Son, 2% on other. I'm not sure who that 2% are captaining. Maybe Trent. Which 2? Watkins, Hwang Hee-chan and Burmo. Rest of the front, I'd probably bench Hwang Hee-chan. I probably wouldn't want to bench Watkins against City. I'd rather play him than Hwang Hee-chan. Turner to Dubravka or Diaby to Palmer. Probably Dubravka. Palmer versus Diaby this week's pretty close. Do have Diaby predicted to start for them this week as well. So after getting a rest at the weekend. Kudus to Palmer or Anderson to Porro. I wouldn't sell Kudus, so Anderson to Porro is definitely the easier transfer. Kudus is a really nice option. He was in my transfer targets video this week. His price is really good. It's just how good Palmer and Gordon have been that means he's not getting more attention than he maybe deserves. Replace Cash or Turner or Roll. You're not starting Cash. Then Turner to Dubravka. But I mean, I would have done it yesterday and got 0.1. But yeah, I still probably would do it. Is that my correct bench order? Yes. I don't want Cash anywhere near my team. Cash to Trippier. If you can do it, if you've got the money to do Cash to Trippier, then yeah, I've got no reason to say why not. Taylor in for Palmer. No chance. No chance I start Taylor. People get carried away. People did it last time as well. When he scored against Bournemouth, suddenly everyone told me to start him against Palace. And it just wasn't the right move. And just because he's got points here doesn't mean he's going to get points here or here or here or here. He might end up playing for me in one of these two. But yeah, I definitely don't plan on... Is Dubravka a better pick than Sanchez for long term? I mean, it depends. It depends whether we get a new signing for Newcastle in goal, but I think it's worth the risk that he will be. Plus, watching Chelsea defensively, I'm not sure that I am that certain on it. Sorry, this is the wrong screen. And I don't know how long I've had that up on screen for. Probably a while. Burn and Mubama to Livramento and Cunha. Yes. Do you need Cunha? Yeah, fine, go for it. Do you need Cunha, though? Can you not just go Semenyo at Bournemouth? Play Maguire or Gahey? I mean, don't play Maguire. Chelsea are involved in chaos football at the moment. Our last results have been a 4-1 win, a 4-4 draw, a 4-1 loss, and a 3-2 win. There have not been less than 5 goals in any of our last 4 games. I'm not saying there's going to be 5 this time around, but I definitely wouldn't be starting a Manchester United defender. Plus, their data is so poor. Look at their... this is Fantasy Football Scout. And in theory, there's been 2 red cards against Spurs. There was a red card against Newcastle, a red card at the weekend. So in theory, there's 4 red cards in those 4 games, 2 of them for Chelsea. We want team stats. Look at this United defence. Like, this is why. I know they've kept actual clean sheets, but they sit in the 7th bottom for expected goals conceded. And then if I go last 6, they're 3rd bottom for the worst defence in the league. 3rd bottom for the worst defence in the league this season over the past 6 weeks. And then you think, oh, well, maybe it's just because they have bad games and, they've had a difficult run. So past 6 games makes it difficult for them. Past 6 games. Newcastle, Everton, Luton, Fulham, City, Sheffield United. Yes, it's inflated by a couple of those games, but still. They're putting up 1.38 expected goals conceded against Sheffield United. 2.73 expected goals conceded against Everton. I understand there's a bit of, grit and determination defensively from them, but it's not something that I think can continue. Need goalkeeper options. I mean, Dubravka. I don't think we need more than one. If you're buying a goalkeeper this week, it's probably Dubravka. I don't see anyone else probably worth buying this week. Overall asking, do I prefer Trippier or Son? Trippier or Son? I mean, I don't know who the other option is. Is it Trippier and like a 7 mil mid? Is it Son and who? Probably Son. Probably Son. Darwin is not consistent enough, heavily involved but doesn't return enough. Leslie, you're not wrong, but he's so involved that you've surely got to expect it to come good at some point. Lascelles to Livramento for a -4. No chance. Lascelles is much greater chance of starting this game than Livramento does. So Sanchez I like, but you're not buying Sanchez this week when he goes away to Manchester United. I don't mind Sanchez, but I'm not sure. I took the judgment call that I didn't prefer him to Dubravka, and I made the switch. Interested to see what the planner says is actually a better rotation. What's a better rotation with Areola? Or actually, what's the best rotation out of these three? But West Ham Newcastle is the best rotation. So Newcastle, West Ham Chelsea in theory is the worst. So Zayed, every time, thank you so much. You really, really don't need to. Thank you massively for your super chat every single week. It is so above and beyond what you need to do and what I expect. Just watching and being a member to where the level you are is more than enough. But yeah, thank you incredibly. Every week. And as a result, we always give a football shirt away when Zayed does these incredible donations. So we'll do one of those again after the end of the stream as well. But thank you very much. By Saka or Gordon? Saka. Just on those asking for does this person or that person start? We don't know any single person. There's no team news on any team. Whether it's Arsenal tonight, whether it's other teams tonight, whether it's Liverpool tomorrow, whether it's Newcastle on Thursday. We don't know any confirmed team news. However, what we do know is that Gordon was in training. That's about the only team news I can give you. So Gordon has been training, so you can ignore the flag. So Gordon should be fine to play that one. Diaby to Gordon for a hit, however. Zufi, I don't think I would do that move. We have 30 minutes to go until the deadline. There are 3,000 of you in here watching and 1,000 likes on the stream. I'm not going to ask you to do any more right now. I just want to say again, thank you very much for spending your Tuesday evening. I know it can be busy with work. I know it can be busy during a midweek deadline. So to still see so many of you in and watching, it is, greatly appreciated. Dubravka and Lascelles, Dubravka and Udogie, or Johnson Lascelles. I'll probably go Johnson Lascelles. Please answer. You have sent my question. Sorry. Get Gordon or Palmer in for a hit. I probably wouldn't. I don't know who you're selling, but I don't think either are worth a hit. Given Gordon's away form and given Palmer's fixture, I don't think I'd do it for a hit. Baron, how are we doing? By Saka or Trippier? Saka. Given Newcastle's away defensive record versus Arsenal looking like hot fudge cake. That's not the saying. Looking great at the moment. We have no Arsenal news. We have nothing. We're not going to get Arsenal as well because the deadline is at 6 o'clock and Arsenal don't kick off for 2.25 hours. So we're not going to get that news. We're not going to get it. Hot fudge cake. What even is that? I've never said that line before in my entire life. Things that come out when you talk to yourself or talk to a camera or talk to you all, but talk to a camera for an hour and a half. I drink cold cups of tea as well. That's great. Cash to Trippier or Adingra to Sterling I mean, Cash to Trippier is probably better this week. You can do a Dingra next week, but I would, if you don't have Palmer, then a Dingra to Palmer next week. One of my transfers, and thanks for the videos. No worries. I did Turner to Dubravka as my one transfer this week, and I'm not going to be making another one. As much as I'd like to procrastinate and say, oh, I might make a transfer, yeah, my team's not going to change. The only thing that might change is my vice captaincy or bench order, but I'm pretty certain that we're going to stay like this. I'm not going to make a change. Start Matoma or Ward-Prowse. Matoma. Mihailo, thank you for shouting at me. I appreciate it. Which two to bench? Porro, Watkins, Darwin, Alvarez, and Burmo, Martinelli. How on earth is your squad so strong that you have to bench two of Porro, Watkins, Darwin, Alvarez, and Burmo and Martinelli? That is crazy. I mean, my initial reaction is Alvarez and Martinelli, but maybe Porro and Alvarez. Maybe you just don't. That's crazy. It's your Watkins for me starts, Darwin starts, and Burmo starts. It's just two of the. You have to start one of the remaining three. I mean, if I had to pick, I'd bench Porro and I'd bench Alvarez. I'd chance on Martinelli starting. Diaby, and Burmo to Saka and Palmer for a hit. Can you? Yeah, you need Saka though. I don't think that's worth a hit. I think I'd do it for free next week. Turner to Dubravka and Ward-Prowse to Burmo for a -4. I'm not sure I'd buy Burmo now. I'd go Gordon or Palmer. If I hadn't bought Burmo now, I'm not sure I'd buy him new. But that's because it helps me get to the others, right? It helps me get to... It helps me get to Trippier, for example. But I'm not sure I'd buy Burmo new now. Start two of Palmer, Gordon, and Alvarez. You're so torn. I probably would bench Palmer in that situation. You're captaining Salah as well. Yeah, I think he's... I mean, 84% of the stream are saying they're going to captain Salah. We'll end the poll in a second. But why are you not considering Saka not in the poll? I mean, his goal threat naturally has not been great. Like that 0.32 XG is still really low. His attacking numbers are not nearly as good as the others that we've got. Plus, well, yeah, I mean, they're equally as good away as home, as we looked on the Burning Questions podcast on Monday. But start Lascelles or Gahey? Probably Gahey. Ben White start. I would think Ben White starts. Because I think Tomiyasu, he had a knock. I just think if they played again next weekend, that they wouldn't start Ben White and they play Tomiyasu again. But given all the fixtures that they've got, I reckon Ben White starts at right back and Tomiyasu's on the bench. Is a prediction. Lascelles or Udogie? Probably Lascelles. I don't think there'll be a West Ham or a Spurs clean sheet. Love to hear thinking, reasoning between captaining Salah, Saka or Son. Yeah, they might want to park the bus. I mean, Liverpool don't look like a team that you're able to park the bus against. I really can't lie. Son... Like, I can understand the reasoning for all three of them. Son, I mean, he had 0.15 XG in that game. Like, his data was really poor there. I like Son. I don't think I'd captain Saka, just based on how Arsenal do spread the points a lot more. And teams have been very good at doubling up on him, and they play a back five. So I don't think I'd do that. It's between Salah and Son. I know the back five thing applies to Salah, but Luton have been good. Luton have been good recently. So I just don't think it's Luton. I think it's Salah or Son. or Haaland. And I'm pretty confident I want to captain the player playing against the worst team in the league. Julian, welcome. Why Dubravka? So for anyone who's unaware, hasn't watched the videos this week, Dubravka, so Turner doesn't play. Pope has picked up an injury that will rule him out for several months, which is meaning Dubravka will play in his place at just 3.9 million. Now, they might sign a replacement in January, but there's a I think a 50% chance that they don't sign a replacement, and we have the Newcastle goalkeeper at 3.9 million until Pope returns, which could be like until wildcard, right? You could get to like game week 26, 27 or so, maybe even like 32 or so before you need to use a goalkeeper. So it's possible. And then if you get to 32, then Areola has a few games. Now, I don't necessarily think I'll keep both of them forever, but Fabianski and De Gea are rumoured. Apparently De Gea wants way too much money for them. That's what I heard anyway. Apparently De Gea wants way, way too much money. Bench Palmer or Kudus? Palmer. Bring in Zinchenko or Porro. I mean, Zinchenko if you don't have another Arsenal defender, but probably Porro. I just think having one Arsenal defender is just a set and forget spot in my defence. Like, Gabriel can just play every week. They are statistically the best defence in the league. As we were looking at with United being one of the worst, if you look at the best defences in the league, I mean, Arsenal are the best over the last 6. And Arsenal are the best so far this season as well. Statistically, the best defence in the league so far this season. Whether you go recently, whether you go over the long term, however you want to cut it, they are the best defence in the league so far this season. And their fixtures are absolutely fine. Like, yes, a few of the next 3 are not great, but then it's West Ham, Fulham. Like, we all thought that they wouldn't keep a clean sheet against Brentford as well, and they did. I just think having one of them in your team is just sensible, so you can just leave them there. Like, Gabriel can just stay. I'll just play one Arsenal defender every week between now and the end of time. Just leave him. Leave him there. If you've got Saliba, leave him. Raya, fine. Zinchenko, fine. Like, I understand maybe you don't want to double up when the fixtures are a bit more difficult. But one, nah. There's not enough good defenders in the game to not have an Arsenal defender. Mitchell or Diaby, appreciate your thoughts. I'd go Diaby. I still think there'll be goals in that game. Dubravka in for -4. Probably not. I don't think I'd do it for a hit. Because I think the thing is, if you do it for a hit, I don't think you see the benefit of it until probably the end of the calendar year. And if you're fine with that, and you think it's just a long-term investment, but I'm going to take a -4 this week, then fine. But I know a lot of you will want a short-term return, and that won't happen if you take a hit for him this week. Will Trippier outscore Porro and James? Long-term, yes. Long-term, yes. But this week, maybe not. Start Alvarez, Gahey, or Taylor. Alvarez. I still think there's goals in that game. So, yeah. Alvarez. I said I wouldn't ask, but we are just 100 subscribers away from 89,000. So if we could hit that during the stream. We're also going to give away a football shirt at the end of the stream, which you have to be a subscriber for. It's the only way I can do it. Our members, I will do the giveaway for you guys today as well. But yeah, you have to be a subscriber to get entered into the giveaway at the end. And you have to stick around as well, because it'll be a key word. Be keyword giveaway. Cash and Turner for Dubravka and Gabriel. Yeah, I don't dislike that. Again, only Gabriel if you don't have another one. Ooh. James Ward-Prowse and Diaby for Palmer and Gordon for a hit. James Ward-Prowse and Diaby for Palmer and Gordon for a hit. James Ward-Prowse and Diaby for Palmer and Gordon for a hit. For 1 -4. I'm not sure Diaby to Gordon's worth a hit. So, which one to bench among Watkins, Alvarez, Palmer, Gordon? Probably Palmer. So, apparently Doku failed his fitness test. I've no idea who's playing left wing for them now. Foden left, Bernardo Silva right. But then who they play in midfield? Alvarez. Who's gonna play for City this weekend? Kovacic, Alvarez, Haaland, Foden, Bernardo Silva. And I don't even know who the last one is. Just finished work and jumped on stream. You're still not made the -8, but we'll go turn to Bravka for now. Thanks for the ice. No worries. I support Chelsea. Oh, Rico Lewis. Nunes or Rico Lewis. I don't think it's going to be Calvin Phillips. I don't think it'll be Calvin Phillips. Rico Lewis. That's the one. Nunes or Rico Lewis. That's who I'm missing. Oscar Bob. No, Grealish is suspended. Grealish got 5 yellows. Grealish can't play. Grealish can't play. If I had Pedro Porro in your team, would I start him this week? Yes, I'd start him over Livramento, probably, because then I wouldn't double up on Newcastle defensively. If I had exactly the same, I'd bench Livramento now. Rodri can't play. Rodri's on 5 yellows. Trippier yellow card. Please, Trippier yellow card. He's on 4 yellows. So yeah, Rodri, Grealish are both suspended. Bernardo Silva and Foden wings. If only it was Grealish and Foden. Those guys love passing the ball to Haaland. But no, Doku is so good for Haaland. I'm turning into such a Doku hater because of FPL. I think he's such a good footballer to watch, but he is so awful to watch when you own Haaland in FPL. I was pulling my hair out at the weekend watching him play. Right, let's do some rapid fire questions. Diaby to Son for a hit, yes. Start Lascelles or Gahey? Gahey. Bench Hwang, Gordon or Mbermo? I'd probably bench Gordon given his away record. Cash to Saliba for a hit. If it's your only Arsenal defender, yes. If you've already got an Arsenal defender, no. It depends if you're going to play him, but probably no. Probably no. Only if you don't have an Arsenal defender. Bench Tsimikas, Gahey or Darwin? Probably Gahey. What is your mic and cam setup? I've got a Sony ZV-1 camera and a Shure MV7 mic. These are my precious belongings. These, honestly. That and my PC, honestly. These things mean more to me than any of my other possessions. You should caps on. No, nah. My team's not changing. Palmer or Cher? Palmer. Thought on Hwang Hee-chan. He's fine, but the issue with him, when you've got Gordon and Palmer being so consistent, it's very, very hard to... It's very hard to go on someone like Hwang because of the other two, but... Worth getting in Palm for Diaby this week for a hit. No, I quite like Villa's chances against that City team with all the injuries they've got. It means they're going to have to move Bernardo Silva out of midfield as well, which is not good for their control unless they play like Oscar Bob, which isn't good for Haaland, I don't think. Maybe. Hwang Hee-chan has been good. He has, for sure. But is he better than Gordon or Palmer? Maybe he's better than Palmer, but again, there's a value difference. You know, Palmer's the cheaper one, and I couldn't afford the moves I want if I had Hwang Hee-chan over Palmer. If you have no arse defender for hit -4 for Diaby. No. Defensive transfers are not worth a hit given the fixtures Arsenal have coming up. Do I think cash will continue to decrease in price? Yeah, he will. Probably will. Oscar Bob has the link up. True. Stones, yeah, but is Stones going to play one of the midfield roles? He'll probably play a back four, and then he'll be one of the ones in. He'll be one of the ones that invert. And Burmo or Palmer and Burmo this week. Would I double up on Chelsea mids, Palmer and Sterling? I probably wouldn't. I probably wouldn't. Which one to bench among Watkins, Alvarez, Palmer or Gordon? We did this question and I'd bench Palmer. Worth getting Palmer, Gordon for Ward-Prowse this week for -4? No. Don't think so. Wouldn't do that. Hit Pranav. Gabriel, Simicast, Lascelles, Robinson, who to bench? Probably Lascelles. I think Everton score. I'm predicting Everton to score. I know I've got double defence, but I don't really have much choice. And it's not worth a hit. Yeah, we do think Stones is going to start. As a Chelsea fan, thoughts on Mudryk? I think he played really well against Brighton. We will see him get some goals soon. I doubt it. I like him. I want to see him do well. I really do, but he's just not in our strongest team at the moment. He's fine as an impact sub, but even when he does that, I feel like the pressure's so high on him because he comes on as an impact sub normally when we need him to change the game, and then that changes stuff. Apparently Stones is going to start, but I mean, we expected that. I don't know if this is in this team or it's just passing the fitness tests. Diaby to Hwang for a -4. Definitely not. There's not many moves I do for a hit this week. There are very few moves I do for a hit this week. How long have we got? 10 minutes to the deadline. Douglas Luiz to Palmer for a hit. I mean, if you know you're going to do the transfer next week anyway, and you've got other stuff you want to do, then fine. But I don't think it's necessarily worth a hit this week. But it gives you an extra transfer next week, right? If you do it for free next week, you have one less transfer. So would I transfer cash out early before additional decreases for Reece James? I mean, if it affects your team value, then yes. But he's not going to change him. I don't think cash will drop tonight again. He dropped last night. So looking at the potential price changes, going into the deadline. Where's Mbermo? Oh, no one's buying Mbermo. I need him to rise. Bench Gahey to play Hwang? Definitely yes. Livramento or Gahey? Probably Gahey. Again, it depends how many Newcastle you've got. If it's your only Newcastle defender, then maybe you want to cover it because it will be very highly owned this week. With Dubravka. Who was I going to search? Cash. Huh? Didn't Cash drop last night? Or did he not? Did Cash not drop last night? Is he going to drop again? He dropped last night and he's already at -98.5%. I'm bleeding value through this guy. Wow. Does that affect my selling value? I'm not sure it does, actually. No, it doesn't. Luckily, it doesn't impact me. But that's crazy. The fact that that's happened. Cash replacements, there'll be top defenders coming around in a minute. So have a look at that. Deflation, I know. Cash is not a good investment. Top 5 forwards there. Then you've got top 5 midfielders. Then you've got top 5 defenders coming up. Is good to captain Son. I mean, I'm on Salah, but I don't hate a Son captain. We are 7 minutes to go to the deadline, but as a reminder, we're giving away another football shirt at the end of this stream. So do stick around for that. What happened? Just tuned in. I mean, Cash is going to drop in price again. Yet someone like Udogie can't. In weeks. What is going on? I planned on keeping him, but I'm just losing value. Billy, I'm sorry. Let me find it. Diaby from -4 with 7.0 have to play him. I don't think I'd sell Diaby for a hit because the two I'd want this week are Gordon and Palmer, and their fixtures are not great this week. Kicking myself for going Cash over Powell when I thought Villa defence. Yeah, but Cash was the better buy. They were virtually the same price when we bought him. So, well, when I bought him. Pau Torres has scored, but, I mean, that's just more luck than judgment. Red card, injured, red card, but Cash has taken minus 0.3 since. It's crazy. Cash Hall coming in game week 18. He's also on 4 yellow cards, right? So one more and he'll miss a game. Diaby to Palmer or Turner to Dubravka. I wouldn't do Diaby to Palmer this week. Have Livramento and Tsimikas and don't want to bench either. Bench Diaby and wait for Palmer. I wouldn't bench Diaby, but I wouldn't sell him. I'd start Diaby. I still think they can do. I think they'll score. And he's often involved. Saliba, Tsimikas, Porro, Livramento. Which 3 should I start? Bench Saliba, Tsimikas, Porro, Livramento. I mean, if you've got Dubravka, then bench Livramento. I'll probably bench Livramento. Archer first bench. I mean, the others are not great either. Cash to Udogie or Robinson. I'd probably go Robinson because Udogie's on 4 yellows. How about Gehi to Porro for a hit? I wouldn't do it for a hit. Start Alvarez or Watkins. Mohamed, I just answered that. So if you could stop spamming, be great. Play 2 of Diaby, Livramento, Palmer. I'd probably bench Livramento, but that's my bench order. I don't know what people want me to change on it. I don't know what to do with Ben White. I think he'll start tonight, so I think he'll start tonight. Cash to Gabriel for a hit. No. Who to start? Bowen or Palmer? Bowen. Definitely Archer first, though, but I'm not swapping it. Mohamed, still bench Livramento. Should I start Lo Celso or Alvarez? Probably Alvarez. No worry. Who to play? Gehi, Lo Celso, Saliba or Tsimikas? I'd bench Lo Celso. I still think Everton score, but I know I'm lining up with double. It's a bit hypocritical, but I'm not taking a hit to replace it. Any team news? Nothing, apart from we think Stones is going to start tomorrow and we don't think Doku is, but it's nothing FPL relevant on Arsenal or Liverpool. Matoma in or out? I'd probably start Matoma. Am I worried about new manager bounce to Sheffield United? Not massively. Both Trippier and Gordon increasing in price tonight. Damn it. Are they? Is Trippier going up? Trippier's not. And Gordon might. I mean, it is what it is. Trippier gets a yellow, then he gets suspended. So, did I buy Dubravka before the price rise? Yes. Start Udogie or Cash? Probably Udogie. Kabore to Gabriel for a hit? No. You took a -4 with Kelleher because of fixtures. Did they make a mistake? I mean, I wouldn't make the change now, but I would make the change at some point to Dubravka. Who do I bench out of Udogi, Palmer, Diaby? I'm sure we've answered. I would go... I'd bench Udogi. Fix... FPL statistics is much more reliable for me than Fix is, so that's the one I use. My overall score, Harry will do that in a moment. Son, Watkins, Archer, or Darwin, Isaac, Gordon. Not the Isaac option, so Son, Watkins, Archer. It depends if you've got to start all three of them next week, but I imagine you don't. So Son, Watkins, Archer. Just bench Archer. Livermento or Anderson. You've got Dubravka, then Anderson. He took a direct free kick the other day. Robinson is on 4 yellows. Yeah. I mean, he is, but he is still a good asset. Like, Trippier is a good asset, and I would still buy him. Bowen or Alvarez. Bowen. If you've got Bowen, definitely start him. So, cash replacements. Go to Porro if you can. Go up to Trippier if you can. But I don't think I would do it for a -4. Dubravka is not worth a -4, but I would do it for free for Turner now that you've missed the price change. If you've got Porro and Arsenal and Newcastle, don't double up on Newcastle defence if you can help it, but I can't help it because of my bench. If I had Porro, I'd bench Livramento. Darwin for Watkins. Don't sell Watkins and don't sell Darwin this week. Triple captain Salah this week. I wouldn't do it. We have 1 minute to the deadline, so please don't go and check your teams. We will be doing a football shirt giveaway and talking a little bit more once the stream ends, so do stick around. Should I take a -4 for Son? I don't know who you're selling, but I would consider it. I would consider it. Trippier or Trent. Trippier is definitely a better asset than Trent, based on the fixtures they've both got coming up. At working slow, don't wait around for transfers. Yeah, make sure your teams are locked in. You've got seconds to go until the deadline. Go and check your teams now. Lascelles or Taylor. Lascelles definitely. Rico Lewis for Joachim Anderson. I probably wouldn't do that based on the fixture. It's not worth it. Gordon or Simicast. Gordon. Again, I use FPL statistics for my price changes, so I don't know about the others. You were selling Darwin for Son. If it's for... Yeah, I probably would do that. Why don't you wear Chelsea jersey? I do have one, but not right now. Bench Simicast or Palmer? Palmer. Edouard Lascelles, pick one. Edouard, definitely. Livramento or Anderson? Anderson. If you've got Dubravka. Simicast over Gordon every day. Well, I'm not certain that he's going to start, and I think Gordon will play, but that is going to be that. The game is updating. Pens down. Locked. Deadline. Time is up. Time is up. And breathe. And breathe. Give me a minute. We're going to do some future planning of my team. I've got time. And then we're going to do a football shirt giveaway as well. So do stick around. I just need to nip to the toilet now the deadline has passed because I've drunk too much liquid. What just happened to my camera? I don't quite know. We'll be back in 1 minute. We almost hit 89k. We'll hopefully hit it. Just the number one, don't you worry. I was posting my team on Twitter before I went. Right, so who wants a football shirt? Do I have sure. Lion, it might have gone through. It's possible it went through. What is going on? One sec. Right. We'll do as much as I'd love to do my future planning first. And then make you all wait for the giveaway. I won't do that to you. Callum, if you are watching, you can either let me know that the rumours you're spreading are not true, or if they end up being not true, I will just time you out. So it's up to you. Right. The giveaway is going to be now. Members will do one separately for you. I will do that straight after this as well. So the keyword we're going to have this week is going to be Dubravka. So go and type Dubravka in the chat now, and then we will start. We'll get the giveaway up and running. Get Dubravka in the chat. I know there's a timing on the chat. There is a time on the chat, so I will leave it the 45 seconds. I could bring the chat time down for a second. That's what I'll do. Let me bring that down. Cool. Right, we'll give it 10 more seconds. And then we would give away the membership. And we're going to put the slow mode right up just so I can see who wins it. And then we'll bring it back down again. Cool, here we go. We're going to do it now. Suddenly the chat grinds to a halt while I put a 5-minute slow mode on the chat. It should be coming in any second. Here it is. You also get a membership as well. Who is going to win it? Roger McSweeney. Congratulations on your football shirt and your month membership. If any of you do fancy having a look, use... Does that even work as a link? No. Great. Feel free. The company that sponsor these now, luckily we've got a sponsor so we can do them even more. Do check out this link and use code FPL Harry for the next few days to get yourself 30% off. But we'll put it back to normal slow mode. Roger, send me a message on Instagram or Twitter. Have a look on that link. And let me know what you want, and then we'll be doing one of these definitely at the weekend. I know for sure we're going to have some at the weekend. The weekend is a special stream, so we will have more then. But check it out then. So, thank you all. If you are going to head off, absolutely fine. Thank you for your support. Please do make sure you've liked and subscribed before you go. I hope you have a lovely week. We're going to stick around and do a little bit on my team for a few minutes. But yeah. Thank you all for watching. Have a great green arrow, I hope, this week. So, yeah, Roger's in with the emojis. So, in terms of my team, so this week, of course, I did the Turner to Dubravka move. It really comes down to if we get a Brentford double game week announcement this week or not. Let me put Karius in there for the money. Do I think Semenyo is a better choice than Bowen this week? I mean, I'd probably have played Bowen. Probably. Yeah, I would have played Bowen. Please don't believe the Saka news. Yeah. Absolutely see it nowhere else. So no. No reason to panic. No reason to panic. Ding. Did I? Yeah, put the slow mode back. So, yeah, if Mbermo, I mean, going into game week 16, depending on whether Simicast, like Livramento start, if we think they're both going to start the weekend, I can just roll like this. Game week 16 is a really rubbish week for defenses. It's a really rubbish week for defences. Like, maybe I want to buy Chelsea, but away at Everton, I don't particularly love. Like, am I going to buy United just for one game? No. Like, what defense would you buy this week? Like, if you buy Porro, again, it's Newcastle. Like, what defense do I buy going into this week? Like, Brentford, but they blank, so I don't want them. That'll be a thrilling weekend. Well, it's true, but like, look at those. What do we want to do here? Like, what defenses would you play here? So I'm kind of like, Trippier, yeah, fine, but I can't get to Trippier without a hit. And I'm not, the only way to get Trippier is to sell Mbermo, and Mbermo has Sheffield United away at the weekend, so I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do it. So I'll probably roll. Just skip that week, exactly. And then I roll. And then my defense looks okay that week, but I will be thinking about Trippier. Now, it might depend based on Trippier's yellow card, but I will look at Mbermo to Gordon that week. Gordon has Fulham at home, whereas Mbermo has Villa at home. So Mbermo to Gordon is still a transfer I plan. Walker, yeah, Walker's an interesting one, but they blank again. It's like Brentford. Brentford and City are the two defences which we might want at the weekend, and they both have awful fixtures. So that would be that. And then it's just trying to free up money to potentially get Livramento up to Trippier when I need him. So my plan is probably to roll for 16 and then to do Mbermo to Gordon if we don't get a double game week announcement for Brentford this week. I'll probably do it next week. Then I'm looking at just finding ways to get Trippier in. It gives me 6.9. I'll probably lose a bit of value. So I'll probably have to do like Simicast or cash. The only thing about selling cash is he does have Sheffield United, but in short on this Gordon and Trippier move, maybe lose Porro. Well, that's why I didn't buy Porro this week, because I knew that if I bought Porro, I just wouldn't, like, there's no route. If I have Porro instead of cash, there's no way I get him. Unless I go Simicast. Like, I could do cash to Porro, Livramento to Trippier, and then I have to sell Simicast and buy someone like very cheap. Like I have to go and buy Bulldog. And then I am stuck with the 3 good defenders, but very cheap ones. It's possible that works, to be fair. Please switch off the 5-minute timer. Alejandro, what do you mean 5-minute timer? Five-minute timer for what? Are you getting ads every 5 minutes? You better not be. Oh, the 5-minute timer's not off. It's 20 seconds now. Should only be 20 seconds now. Pau Torres in 18's a shout. Yeah, it's true. It's not. I've turned it down. Yeah, it's not a 5-minute timer. You might need to refresh. I don't know. I've turned it off now. So you might need to just refresh your stream. So, like, I get to a place where it's Porro, Gabriel, Trippier, which I don't hate. I just don't have massive cover. Like, Taylor Baldock is not great. It's not great. No worries, Alejandro. Cool. But has anyone got any questions before we head off? I'm happy to sit and answer a few questions. I've got less to do this evening. If not, I'm going to go head off. I'm going to make some dinner. Watch a little bit of football. Hope for some Arsenal returns. And yeah. Is Hee-chan going to get a rise? Let's have a look. What tab? This one. Yes, it does look like he's predicted to rise tonight. What's for dinner? Spaghetti bolognese, I think. The giveaway for the members, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it once I end this stream. I'm going to do it once I end this stream. Wolves line up. We don't... Is Wolves line up out? No. In 15 minutes. In 15 minutes, we'll get the Wolves line up. Who is rising? I mean... Oh, that's the link for the website which sponsor the football shirt giveaway, which you can get 30% off with code FPL Harry. But this is the link. That's the FPL statistics is the link for the price rises. And then you can use planfpl.com to go and plan your team for future weeks. So those are the 3 links you need. Cool. Thank you all so much. I posted about Chelsea defenders on Twitter, so go and have a look. Thank you all so much. Have a lovely week. We'll be back on Thursday morning with the first video. We'll be back on Friday. It's not Karius, but I needed to do it because Dubravka was 4 million, but it's Karius. Not Karius, Dubravka. We'll be back on Thursday with a video. We'll be back on Friday with another video. Then we'll be back on Saturday with a deadline stream. Thank you all. All the links are in the chat. So you've got Plan FPL there. You've got FPL statistics. And then you've got all of them above. So thank you all for watching. Have a lovely week. Green arrows all around. And I hope to see you all again very soon.